Hello everyone. Blessed full moon to you. The Aquarius full moon is tomorrow at 1:59 a.m. high noon here on the east coast of the United States. Wow. Oh, let's take a breath. Isn't it nice to have a moon without an eclipse? Isn't it nice to have a moon without, well, isn't it nice to have a moon, a full moon? The new moon had 12 planets, no, 15 planets in retrograde, all in a row. And in the 2 weeks since then, one of those planets at the end, Hecate, has turned direct. Everything else is still retrograde. Except, of course, the moon is in the mix, and the moon is never retrograde. It's always going forward. So let's just breathe in. This is a time of celebration. At the new moon, I don't know about you, but everybody I know, including me, went deep within, churned up a lot of releasing, a lot of old stuff that was metabolized through the previous 19 years, through this eclipse cycle, and gone. Big shifts. And now this full moon is saying, act on it. Act as if it were real. Act as if you believed all that release really happened. Because the way to make something real is in our behavior, our decisions and our actions. And so this is the challenge. And this is sometimes why it seems like, but I did that work already. I released that last full moon. I released that a year ago. I released that 10 years ago. Why is it still coming up? Did you seal it in? Did you make different decisions? Did you take different actions? Did you step into the unknown? Did you walk into the new? This is the work. This is where the work is. And this is the work I'm feeling myself doing in the 2 weeks since all that release. Big shifts, big shifts, big shifts. And I have to keep stepping into the new. And I can really feel it if I take a step that is the old way. The things, if it's feeling like, oh, that's what I would have done before all that releasing. And I just did it again because it's a habit. I don't feel it. I know it's not accurate or true or authentic anymore. But it's what I'm used to. What can I do differently? So this full moon in Aquarius is saying, what can I do differently? How can I go into bold new territory after all that releasing that just happened? And this works really beautifully because Aquarius is the sign of the visionary, the forward thinker, the one who is looking for the solutions that will make the world a better place. It's very much Aquarius wants to reach out. It wants to have an impact, wants to change the world. And it's looking for inventive ways of doing that, whether it's new ways of being in community, new ways of doing money, new ways of doing business, new ways of technology. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. And Uranus is the great innovator. And new ways of living the spiritual life, new ways of accessing vision and bringing it into the real world. Pisces, which is the next sign, my sign, 12th sign, would stay in the unconscious, in the spiritual, in the transcendental forever. Aquarius taps into the transcendental and says, bring it to earth. We've got work to do here. And so this full moon is activating in each of us, it's activating. The moon tends to be about emotion, and the full moon is really about big emotion, big feelings. How will we use those feelings to direct our decisions, direct our creations, direct our visions? We are not at the mercy of our dreams and visions, our delusions, our illusions. We get to create them, we get to choose them, and we shape them. So what's going on across from the moon is the sun in Leo. So Leo is the child, the king, the bright and shining one, the high noon, the sunshine. The sun is its ruler. The sun is at home in Leo, ruling planet of Leo. And there is an innocence to Leo, and there is an ebullience, a freedom, and a desire for freedom. And it is childlike, playful, inventive in a playful way, erotic in a playful way, creative in a playful way. And that moon, the deep emotional, the underworld aspect, is the undercurrent, the thing that moves things along without necessarily being seen, is in Aquarius. And I've just described how Aquarius says, how can we use this to change the world? How can we use this to impact society? And so this is a beautiful dynamic for action and for sealing in with action these beautiful shifts that we've all been making over the past couple of months. And of course, we can look at the world around us, and our world needs action, and it needs a new kind of action, and it needs new solutions and new vision, because we've had the rug pulled out from under us. What looked like smooth sailing, what looked like the way things ought to be, have all changed. So what else is at work at this time of this full moon? The planet that is closest to the midheaven, also at high noon, with right there with. Oh, thank you. Can you hear that mower? My beloved partner has decided to mow, but we're fine. Vesta and Mercury are in a conjunction in late Cancer. So, and they are opposite Saturn, Chariklo. Saturn and Chariklo are in a close conjunction in late Capricorn, both retrograde. And Mercury and Vesta are moving forward together in an applying, well, I guess Mercury moves faster, so it's already crossed the exact conjunction with Vesta. Probably today as I speak, if I looked at the chart of the moment, they would be in exact conjunction. So Vesta is at high noon, right there with the sun. She's in Cancer, but she's in the sky, very close to the sun, if we could see her. She is the priestess. She is the divine, the intermediary between the world of form, between ordinary reality, and the goddess. She is the priestess that lives in each one of us. I teach about the fire, the sacred fire of our erotic flame, our sexuality, on the altar in the temple of our womb. That is, some women who work with me learn about how to activate that in themselves. And that is Vesta. We are working with the Vesta archetype. And so she is with Mercury, the messenger. And Mercury happens to love Aquarius. So they are activated here while the moon is in Aquarius, and Mercury is, it's electric, it's money, it's speed, it's things that move fast, it's energy, and it's, the telegraph, internet, email, text. How fast can you get there? The speed of light. That's Mercury. So Vesta has something to say to us. What does she have to say? Well, she's looking at Saturn and saying, hold the container. Because we are in sacred ground here. And the work that the people have to do, individually and collectively, is sacred work. They have to do the work of remaking society, of tapping into a deeper spiritual self, and understanding that it is their bodies that know how to be in this new world. The answers to their questions are located in their bodies, in our bodies, my body, your body. And it is that embodied wisdom that will connect to everything that needs to happen. We become partners with nature through our bodies. And it is in partnership with nature that we will create the new world that is being born, whether we like it or not. And how do we know there's a new world being born? Because we can feel the old world dying around us. And as frightening as that may be, the invitation here from Vesta is celebrate it. This is an opportunity. Do not cling to that which you've already released. You release so much more than you even know during the new moon in early Cancer. You released so much more than you know. Actually, it was late Cancer. It was the second new moon in Cancer. Oh, and that's interesting. Vesta and Mercury are they are at 1 degree away from where that new moon happened in late Cancer. So they are on the verge of transiting that space. They are reactivating. They are reminding you at the time of this full moon that yes, the world is different now. Do not mourn for what is gone. Tap into your Aquarian nature and say, what am I creating? What am I creating in myself? What am I creating in my own life? What am I creating for the world? There's a little creature walking on me. I'm going to just let it walk. It's very pretty. I thought it was a spider, but it's some little strange beetle. I'm a nature girl. I've been known, if it was a mosquito, I'd kill it. I have my brutal side, but so does nature. Yeah, so that's Vesta and Mercury. I didn't even notice that till just now. Are saying, find the sacred space. Find what you're creating. You must do it in a sacred way. And Aquarius says, do not do it alone. You cannot do it alone. So if you need, and there's lots of ways to interpret alone. There is find a circle, find a group of people. We are becoming inventive at getting together with people to create and make and still stay safe from the, we're dealing with the pandemic, and I encourage everyone to have deep respect for this particular virus and the effect it can have on your health and on your body and on other people's health and other people's bodies. So with deep respect for the situation, knowing that it is ultimately working together for our good. That's a decision we make, and it's not an airy-fairy, positive thinking decision. It is a choice we have to tap into power, to tap into truth, and to recognize that we are powerful in this. We are not victims of anything that's going on. So that is the decision that we make. And that's how we will move forward and thrive with whatever is coming next. And I say, whatever's coming next, what do you want to make into what do you and your cohort, what are you going to create that sustains life and helps you and everyone else thrive? What will work better for society, for culture, for the earth, for the children that are coming? Because we're not going to stop having babies. We better not. So that's a lot. Something that we've got that's powering this up is that there is a grand fire trine happening. The sun at 11 Leo, the Hecate, the crone at the crosswords, at 12 Sagittarius, and Chiron at 9 Aries. A grand fire trine. So things are burning. This is another way that we know what is old is disappearing. It's there. This is a fire, a purifying fire, a vortex of fire. And let us pray that we do not have the wildfires that we have had in many continents in the past few years. But recognize that in our spirits, in our lives, we are burning. And so I encourage you to use the element of fire. When we did our release work, I did a class on a new moon release ceremony, and we worked with fire. It was called for very intentionally. And so that is still active here, that we will use fire to use it, continue any releasing that needs to be done, but fire forges. You can melt metal with fire, and you can hammer it and forge it and create something new. So steel, backbone of steel, resolve of steel, the power of decision, boundaries of steel. How do you need to think of it in your own life? So use the fire as for its creative aspect. I made this. I used fire to make this spider, this pendant of mine. So metalworking, it can make things of beauty, things of utility, tools for working the land, and weapons. So many things we can use fire for. What we've got going on, an aspect. This grand fire trine is aspecting the moon, so it's picking up. The sun is holding up one corner, one angle of the triangle, and then there is another aspect. The moon in opposition is holding that down, and there's another thing. There's just so much happening here. I'm going to let me just feel and see which other aspects would be most helpful to you right now. All right. There's a couple of trines. Trines are flows where flowing energies, where the energies are moving easily back and forth. It's a collaboration. Things work together. Lilith asteroid, which is the disowned feminine within each of us, the part of us that has said, my feminine qualities, my sexuality, my female body, the fact that I am female, and the other qualities that we associate with the feminine. So it works for men as well. In a trine to Mars and Black Moon Lilith. Black Moon Lilith is the goddess before patriarchy. She is the great void that is creating a form all the time. She is both nothing and everything. So they are working together. Black Moon Lilith is on her way to meet Eris. In this next week, she's going to be making a conjunction with Eris, the goddess of discord. The goddess that says, I don't care who gets hurt. We're tearing this down. And that power of Eris can work for justice. It actually can be incredibly indiscriminate. That's why you can see so-called negative things. I say so-called because I kind of withhold judgment. I'm not going to go that far, but we have peaceful demonstrations, and we have destruction of property happening in the midst of it or on the edges of it, or we have agitators stirring people up. And the beauty of that, the gift of that, is it draws attention to the message. And that's really important. It's really important. So Eris brings discord. And Eris, we have Eris in Congress. I've always associated Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez with Eris. She and her cohort, the new female congresswomen who are stepping out and saying, you know, the way that we've always done it, we're going to look at different things. We're going to look at it differently now. That's Eris. So Eris is about to get a dose of energy from both Mars and Black Moon Lilith, because Mars and Black Moon Lilith are close together, heading towards Eris, and they are talking to us about our own inner disowned feminine. Because, you know, tapping into the disowned feminine, it's so interesting. It's like so many things of healing. It's this might sound really strange, but it's like I learned something. I grew up in a conservative Christian religion, and so I know a lot about Jesus and how Jesus taught. In fact, Jesus is my, quote, spirit guide, to my amazement. And I have a completely different relationship with the person and the spiritual being that we associate with Jesus than I did growing up. But what I learned is that he could heal like that. I mean, the miracles of Jesus are well known. He's known as a healer, and he's known for being able to instantaneously heal. But the way that he does it is he would say to the afflicted person who came to him for healing, get up and walk. They had to take that step of faith. They had to risk, but I can't walk. If they had just said and believed, I can't walk, they would have died sitting on that mat and never walked. But when Jesus said, take up your mat and walk, the person had the opportunity to believe, wow, what if I could walk? What if I got to lose? I'm going to give it a shot. and they get up and they walk. So they become a walking person, having been a cripple since birth. When we are healing our inner Lilith, it's kind of like that. Because the minute you stop suppressing her, the minute you stop nurturing the feminine wound and feeling victimized and downtrodden by that, you unleash her power. And she becomes the dark feminine. She becomes Algol, the demonized goddess. And the minute you look at the demonized goddess and say, oh, I love you. You are divine. You are in me and I am in you. She stops being a demon. And she becomes Black Moon Lilith. We connect to that feminine before patriarchy. And we begin to remember the truth of the way life is designed to be, the way we are designed to be. How can we create what we're creating that this full moon is calling us to? There is so much more I could talk about, but I feel like that is the note to pause on. It's enough. So tonight, when you look out at the moon, think of these words. Ask, what am I creating? What is ask, deeply ask over the next 24 hours. What is my new action aligned with who I am now that I've released all that? And do not name all that you've released. You don't even remember what it is. You just need to acknowledge and remind your unconscious mind, remind your soul that you know you have changed, and say, what is the new thing? And prepared to be terrified. Because the answer is going to be something that you have been saying, I can't do. Or it's hard. Yeah. So this is why you don't do it alone. Thank you, Aquarian moon. Find your circle of people who believe this, who are waking up the same way you are, who have shifted the same way you are, and find those elders who have been at it longer and have been waiting for you to come and say, this is happening, help me. Find a mentor. That's the work that I do. I might be your mentor, and follow me over the next few weeks, because I will be telling you ways you can work with this Vesta energy, the Hecate energy, the Venus energy, the dark goddess, Nessus, all of them. So, yeah, first, you and the moon. Find out, who do you serve now? What is your purpose now? And then seek the support that you need to fully step into that and bloom into who you are and why you are here, and find your people. That's the Aquarius full moon. Blessed be. Thank you for being here.